Hey guys, Dennis with Gym Owner Bootcamp here. I just got back from the gym after my workout as I put this video together for you. I absolutely love the gym atmosphere and I got some pretty good endorphins flowing today. I want to tell you about this guy that was really moving on the treadmill. I had to take a peek over his shoulder to see how fast he was going. The readout said 8.8 miles per hour and he had been on there for about 27 minutes or so. What really caught my attention was the t-shirt he was wearing. The back of it read, "Who says it can't be done?" I thought about that slogan as I was thinking about a question that Sarah posted in response to one of the videos at Gym Owner Bootcamp. Here's Sarah's question. She writes, "We are looking at purchasing a 24-hour fitness club in our small community. It hasn't made much money at this point, but we have a few ideas to help that. Since it is a small, mostly elderly community, the membership potential may not be as great. Staffing would also need to be more than described, as the elderly population here hasn't felt comfortable working out unstaffed. What would be the critical things you would look at from the financial side in considering whether to purchase or not?" So as I went through my workout supersetting chest and back today, I was giving a lot of thought to Sarah's question. I began looking around the club and I did a head count to kind of sum up who all was in the gym this morning. Now keep in mind this was about 9 a.m. There was about 12 of us in there, and 5 were senior citizens, so the older crowd made up almost half of us in there. That's kind of typical for the morning hours between 9 and noon. The older crowd is usually retired, and many get their day started with a workout. Anyways, this brings me back to that t-shirt and Sarah's comments. I could elaborate quite a bit on Sarah's posts, thinking about that t-shirt again. Who says it can't be done? It reminds me of that old adage, where there's a will, there's a way. Excuse me. And you know, I can tell Sarah's got the will, and so do most of you who signed up for this boot camp. Here's a couple of pointers. And this is something for everyone to take into consideration, not just Sarah. Your club will draw whomever you market to. What do I mean by that? Well, you can carve out your own little niche. One example of this is, let's say you do have a high number of senior citizens in your demographic area. Well, market to them. Remember, the senior citizens demographic are usually retired, so they have plenty of time on their hands. They will usually use your club during low traffic hours when most everyone else is at work or school. Another good thing to remember is that this demographic often has more disposable income to spend on luxuries like moving to Florida for the winter, so most likely they can afford a membership to your fitness center. One good thing is that you could get a personal, here's one good idea, it was what I meant to say. You could get a personal training certification specializing in fitness for older adults and market yourself as the leader in senior fitness within your community. This is an excellent idea for any gym owner looking to fill the void in their club during those slow hours of the day. This is usually 9 a.m. to noon and 1 to 4 p.m. in the afternoon. Here, let me let you in on a little secret. Senior citizens make great employees. You've probably heard the saying, like attracts like. After running my club for a few years on my own, I decided to hire an employee. He was one of my personal training clients, a retired gentleman in his 60s. He asked me if I could ever use some help. Long story short, he began working for me. The members loved him. Now, you might be saying to yourself, how does like attract like in this situation? Well, I put Gordon was his first name, to work during the hours of 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. Remember, for the most part, this is when a large part of your older clientele will be coming through your club. Both the young and old members of my club loved to chat it up with Gordon. When Gordon moved out of town, everyone kept asking me, "Where did Gordon go?" Members kept asking me this for months after Gordon had left. He was a great guy, and I wouldn't hesitate to hire more senior citizens like Gordon to staff my club. Okay, now maybe I shouldn't be saying this, but it's the truth, so I will. Seniors like Gordon have already made their money, and they are usually just looking for something to do to pass a few hours during the day. In my experience with hiring seniors, they don't want a whole lot of money. Many are very happy with the minimum wage, and they simply really enjoy getting out and being around people. Seniors can make the perfect employee for a part-time position. They are hard workers, and they don't have to be told twice what to do. And as an added bonus, when it comes to selling club memberships, seniors are very non-threatening. The customer doesn't feel like they are going to get their arm twisted off in order to buy a membership. So the customer doesn't have their guard up as much, and this makes for an easier sell. Women employees have this effect too. Women make great salespeople. Okay, another thing that Sarah mentions in her post is that her fitness club would be in a small community. I'm not going to go into this too much right now because I have a case study coming up of a gym owner that operates a club in a small town of only 3,190 people. So you'll have to wait on that one. This brings me to the last thing I want to address for Sarah. Excuse me. Sarah mentioned that she's thinking about purchasing an existing club. I have a client that is a registered member of a business I operate called FitnessCenterOwner.com. Many of you are already aware of this website. Now, don't get too excited because membership to this site is not available right now because I'm simply too busy taking care of my existing clients. But what I wanted to share with you is this. One of my members posted a question in the Fitness Center Owners Forum asking a very similar question to what Sarah had asked. He was looking into buying an existing fitness center and asked the following question in the Owners Forum. It goes like this. Hello. I just want to ask if anyone here has experience purchasing a gym that was already up and running. I came across what seems to be a good deal in my area, but want to make sure I take the right steps before purchasing. I provided this member with the following answer. Now, I hope that I don't bore you on this because my answer is pretty extensive, so I will try to just hit the highlights for you. And Sarah, you might want to grab a pen and write this stuff down. Here goes. I have been on the selling end of 2 different fitness centers that I have owned, never on the buying end, yet that is. And although I haven't been on the buying end, I can share with you what buyers wanted to know. My buyers wanted to know, why are you selling? How long have you been in business? How many active members do you have? How many total members are on your master list, both active and expired? How much is your rent? Does the lease transfer without having to renegotiate a lease with the landlord? What do your utilities run? How much money in the receivables base will transfer? Are there any debts on the business? Are there any leases on the fitness equipment that will need to transfer? Is the business turning a profit? How much? How about staff? What are their salaries or hourly rate? Are there personal trainers? Are they on the club's payroll or do they get a 1099? Many other questions should and will come up. As a serious potential buyer, you will want copies of the owner's tax returns for at least the last 2 years, and as a seller, he or she should understand this. If not, perhaps the business is in trouble and there's something they want to hide. Signing a non-disclosure agreement, a confidentiality letter, should take care of any of the owner's concerns regarding you looking over all of the finer details of the business. You will obviously want to do a physical inspection of the physical assets that will be included in the sale. All of the assets should be noted in the sales agreement. There are a lot of bases that need covered here. Is the location good, and what's the competition like? Something that you might consider asking the seller is if he or she would be willing to owner finance the deal. That's what I have done with the sale of one of my gyms. Maybe you don't need to do this, but sometimes it's hard to get a bank to give you the money. If that's the case, perhaps you could suggest something like 20% down with 60 monthly installment payments with an agreed upon interest. These are some thoughts and ideas that are not meant to be taken as legal advice, as I'm not an attorney. After signing a confidentiality agreement with the owner, I would have the owner allow you to take a look at all of the reports in the club management system. Again, assuming that you are a serious potential buyer, there is no reason that the owner shouldn't allow this unless they are attempting to hide something. I wish you the best in this endeavor. Please let me know what comes of it or how I may further assist. Sincerely, Dennis. Well, folks, that's it for this video. I hope that you picked up on a few different tips that you can put to use in your own fitness center business, and I look forward to sharing a bunch more really cool stuff with you soon. Until next bootcamp session, take care. Hey, and I really appreciate your comments on these videos, so go ahead and post a comment if you would. I'd really like to hear from you. Thanks again.